I've got a really cool video for you today, RC drivers. First up, we're going to check out one of my favorite hobby shops, Galley Mods in Baldwin Place, New York. I'll have a link for it in the video description. Been here a couple of times, but I want to show you guys around the shop because they've got everything here. The other thing I want to show you today is the Arrma Mojave Grom BLX. We're going to run it at their track behind the shop. Wait till you guys see this. Check this out. RC wall to wall from floor to ceiling. They've got so much stuff in this shop. Check this out. Got the Mojave right when you walk in. Actually, no, when you walk in, they've got a bunch of Groms already sitting there at the bottom. Those are the hot seller right now from what I was told. They've got a bunch of low-C cars over here. I mean, they've got cars from every manufacturer. Got to show you guys all the other Arrma stuff they have. Just a wall of it here. Check this out. Infractions, Vortex, Sentence, everything you could think of. Even TLR2 and Typhon. Arrma Crane, Outcast. More low-C, and then check this out. I mean, all the other hobby things that you would want, models. Over here, we've got rockets. I mean, when's the last time I've flown a rocket? It's probably like 20 years ago. What I used to do was I used to glue the top on, so it would just shoot right up and land like a lawn dart into the ground. That was a lot of fun, but costly. Look at all the parts he's got. I mean, everything you could possibly want to go and modify your car, whether it's a crawler or a basher, he's got it here. Wherever you look more low-C cars, axial, every single axial, he's got like one of everything here. Just in case you want it, he's got it here, I bet. So look at all the stuff behind the counter. Just tons of option parts. Down here, I mean, every type of electronic you could possibly want. This hobby shop is really well stocked. Again, I'll have a link for Galley Mods in the video description below, just so if you're local, you definitely need to come and check it out. But today we're here for the Mojave Grom. Now, back behind the shop is the track where I tested the original Mojave Grom, and it's where we're gonna test the BLX. Let's get this thing out of the box so I can show you all of its features. Inside the box, you're going to get the SLT2 radio system. This is the newer version of the radio that works with the DSC, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. It also has AA batteries for the radio system, a basic tool, USB-C charger, a battery which is already installed in the truck, and you're going to get an instruction manual too. Now I want to switch things up and show you how fast this goes. Okay guys, let's get a top speed out of the box. I've already got my GNSS on the truck in the usual spot up front here. Looks like this is ready to go. Yep, here we go, guys. 2S powered. We'll send it down. Oh, I should probably trim it out first. It's a little off. And here we go. Gotta roll into it. That thing is moving. A little slide at the end. That was cool. Wow, it's got some power that spins it out. All right, let's see. What do we have? Magic number 35 right out of the box. That's funny. The Typhon did 38. Awesome seeing that the Mojave hits the advertised speed on the front of the box of 35 plus miles an hour. Now we can take a closer look at it, and it's still the scaled down Mojave that we loved with the original Grom. Again, they've just changed up the paint schemes on these, even the cage colors as well. This one has blue to go along with it. I like that they've got some flat black on the outside. Still has the push clips. What I noticed running my original Grom more is once you get some dirt in here, it does kind of hinder the performance of that push button a little bit, but I've got an air compressor. I just blow out any dirt and then no more problems after that. But the inner structure is still there. Really important to just keep in this thing from getting smashed up. And here is a look at the chassis. It's a longer chassis than the Typhon Grom that I reviewed. The BLX version, I threw up that video. Definitely check it out when you have a moment. I'll put a link up above to it. But look at this thing. It's absolutely awesome. I did take some video of this truck back at the workshop, so you're going to see some workshop overlays here, but let's get into it. First up, it does have the aluminum shocks on here as well, black anodized. I think the Typhon was gray anodized bodies. Maybe I'm just thinking of things, but anyway, it's got aluminum shock caps on the top, which is important. It's got the dust protectors on it, so I like the upgrade. There are long travel in the front and the rear. Just dropping this thing down seems nice and solid right out of the box. Another big change up in the front end is they now have aluminum adjustable tie rods, so you can adjust your toe angle. And then the rest of the suspension has remained unchanged. Dual wishbone in the front. They've got bulky hubs in the rear. And then actually out at the end of the axles, they now have 12mm hexes that are aluminum, so they're not going to spin on you or strip out when you're just hammering on the throttle. Now, to get into the drivetrain changes, they have the full metal differentials front and rear on this. Even the metal out drives. They still have the CV style drive shafts, and then in the rear they've upgraded the stub shafts to metal. Same chassis that we've seen before, nice rigid, just a little bit of a rise in the center, so you get a little extra ground clearance out of it, but the differentials are nice and low. You got this brace in the center to help stiffen it up. Battery drops right here on the side, and I like that there's a little extra room for you guys that are modifying this. Throwing some bigger packs in here. Speaking of space, I got plenty of clearance for the motor as well, and let's get into the electronics that have been upgraded. We've got brushless, so it's got a 4500 kV motor wrapped in this heat sink. Then you've got your 2-in-1 Spectrum SLT unit here with the DSC, which is dynamic stability. That's going to give you some extra control, kind of similar to AVC, and you can actually adjust the sensitivity of it, or you could turn it off, and that's done through the orange button on the back, which is your on-off button. But once it's in use, a couple quick little pushes cycles it through the different modes. There's the 110 servo, which is a Metal Gear servo. 1400 milliamp battery pack is included, 30C, and they have a 3S option, which is going to make this car go a lot faster. On all four corners, you got the D-Boots Fortress tires wrapped on new color wheels, depending on which version you get. You get the blue one for the blue body, you get purple for the teal one. Kind of really digging that teal body, or the black one. I don't know. Let me know which one you like the best in the comments section below. Now, one thing to mention about this system is I think it is specifically paired with this SLT2. Reason being is it controls the DSC. Not 100% sure on that, but if any of you were thinking of swapping out your brush system for this new speed controller setup, you might have to get the radio as well. Really excited to throw down some laps at the Mojave BLX, and I actually brought along the Typhon with me, so you're going to see that run on the track as well. But let's get started with the truck. Let's start off really easy. Just get a feel for it. I already want to pull the throttle. I know it's got brushless in there. I just want to rip on that throttle, but I'm going to just, you know, see how the truck is first. Seems to be handling pretty well at mid throttle. And actually the throttle range, I didn't mention this in the Typhon video. I like the throttle range on it. Nice and smooth throughout the band. And then when you punch it, it does actually just rip. As you guys saw, 35 miles an hour. And they usually run like A scales and 10 scales on this track. So it's a little rutted up. End of the season. We're handling this. This is good. Through the corner well. Just a little washy in the rear end. I actually noticed that the rear felt a bit loose in the Typhon as well. So I think it definitely needs some diff tuning with these. You know, they just pack them with some grease right before they leave the factory. So they're not tuned. And I really think they need it, actually, if you're going to run it on a track. But we're getting around. Look at this thing. There's a big rock I got to avoid over there. This thing's moving. Getting around, I think, a bit better than the brush version. Oh, a little loose in the corner there. A little edgy. I think there's a bit more chassis roll to this, or it's a bit more noticeable with the brushless model. You got more power, so you're just, I mean, I think that chassis is rolling a bit more when you're entering those corners. So I don't know if they came out with a sway bar kit. Do they have one? That'd be really good for this. Let's see what the Typhon has for the track. About half throttle around the sweeper. Full, no, not full throttle. Rolling over that hill in the back. Just got to choose my lines here because there's a couple blown out spots. Take this jump easy. There we go. And I'm noticing, yeah, just like the Mojave, maybe a little oil tuning for a track. A little bouncy. We're getting it around this track fast. Big air, nope. Ow, oh, big crash. Fixed it, let's see if we get another good lap in. Actually, it holds the corner pretty well. I think it just needs some light changes. And that's just part of RC, just getting your RC tuned into wherever you're gonna run it. This thing's fast. You know, I really can't make this jump just the way the carpet is over it, so I want to run the track in reverse direction, see if it's any better. Well, at least we get some air that way. This could be more fun. Reverse direction. I gotta get used to this now. Oh, major barrel roll in the corner. It handles a little bit better in reverse direction. Let's see if I get some air off this jump now. Yeah, there we go. That's mashing on the throttle. I guess that's some diff testing for you. So I can't get a ton of big air here, but I got a good feel for the truck, and I think it needs a little bit of oil tuning, both in the shocks and the diff. It just, off these jumps, when I do hit it, it just bounces right back up. So I got some good track time in with the truck, and this new brushless system is pretty legit. It's got some power to it. You saw it do 35 miles an hour in the parking lot, had plenty of rip there at the track, and it is capable of running on 3S. I just wasn't going to be able to lay that power down at the track. I was having a little bit of consistency issue with the amount of power it had there. I would even say I probably should have backed it down to 75% throttle just so I could use the power better. Got a lot of power in a small truck, and you know, it makes it edgy, a little inconsistent. So I was running the brush version, was actually able to get it around pretty well. This one, I was on edge. So if that's what you like, if you like that edgy power feel, this is definitely a cool truck to get. It's got plenty of steering. Handled the bumps fairly well, did not handle the ruts really well. We had some bucking up in the rear. It was scrubbing a lot off that one jump, so I wasn't able to really launch off of it, so it may need a little bit of shock work as well. But if you're just going to run it around in, let's say, a dirt parking lot, or if you've got some sort of track with rolling jumps, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun with it there. If you're speed running around the parking lot, just watch when you're looping back around with your turns. Again, that rear end might get a little loose on you, but this is a fun truck, and it took such a bashing. Lots of hard hits with it. I think it's a really solid truck. I like the options that they put on it. I did go and run the Typhon as well, and I gotta say, I might like the Typhon a little bit more. This one actually weighs 8 ounces less than this truck, and so I feel it's just a little bit more manageable with that power. The other thing with the truck is because you have more weight to it, a lot of it's up top with the cage, you get a lot of chassis roll. You get that CG just moving around on you, so it's a lot more wheel control with it. And you could go and tune the DSC as well, get things a bit to where you like it. But when just the brush versions were available, the Mojave was my favorite. With the brushless versions, I think the Typhon is my favorite here, with the Mojave in a close second, and then these guys might get the shelves. So if you're looking for a new, fast, fun, small truck, I'll have links for this truck in the video description below.